Alrighty, welcome back guys. So today we should hopefully be getting the bottom end back together. I've gone through and honed each one of the bores. You can see the shiny. Honed each one of the bores with just the honing stone. And I've got everything but head studs at the moment. So I've got, who is it? Got main bearings and a timing kit there. Got the head gaskets here. Got the rings, piston rings, and conrod bearings. So in theory, today should be able to get this entire bottom end back together. I've got another front main seal because even though I put this one in, when I fixed up the bits where it wasn't, where it was really thin and corroded, as you can see, the front cover got hot and kind of cooked the seal. But luckily the timing kit here comes with another front main seal, so we're in luck there. I've also got the supercharger mostly back together. I do have to get can get gear oil. It's got to be 80 weight 90, and it's got to be full synthetic and some CL-5 crap, whatever's supposed to be there for it, so I can get some of that instead of some supercharger oil and run that. Yeah, I have spray painted the pulleys. I did the engine mount as well and the power steering bracket, so it looks all fresh and brand new again. Yeah, so I'm going to flip this over, get the cam in it, put the main bearings in it, and get the main caps on, and then we should hopefully be on the way to getting this all back together. I did give it a lick of paint after being in the acid bath. Put some heat tabs on it just because why not? The middle of these melt out at 120 degrees. So if anyone's going and looking at a car and you can find a heat tab, normally they're on the back on a Welsh plug. If it's still got the center in it, you know that it's been alright. Cam's in, balance shaft's in. So I'm all lined up, ready to go. I did line the dots up on the balance shaft and that gear behind it. You can't see where the dot is behind there, but it is lined up. So now it's got to put bearings in the bottom end. I then do have to clean all that red stuff off the crank because that's just stuff put on there to stop it from rusting while you haven't got it doing anything for a while. So clean that up and we'll drop the crank in and put the timing on. Then we're nearly there, nearly ready to put the pistons in. Well, I've got to put the rings on the pistons first and then slap it all together. But yeah, anyway, righto, we'll clean up the red shit off the crank and we'll get that in there. Crank's in, all torqued down. It was 30 foot-pounds plus 110 degrees, and the side bolts that go through the side there and there on both sides were 11 and 45 degrees. So it's now in there. It spins real nice like. Now I've just got to get the main sprocket and the chain. So there's the chain tensioner, there's the chain, and then the gear. So we'll get that all up on the front and timed up, and then I've just got to check all the ring gaps and make sure that they're all going to be within spec. I'm going to have to Google that because I haven't got any specs on hand, but here I we'll get these on and get it all timed up and then that's nearly the bottom end ready to go. So we'll get into that and start doing it. Timer chain's on. It's all done up and timed. Alright, so timing cover's pretty much bolted down. The crank angle sensor's on. Getting the water pump on now with the gasket. I've got these two in, and this one. Got a little bit carried away. Put the oil rings on, the oil control rings, put the compression rings in. Now I decided, oh, I'll just grab the bearings and throw it in. Now, got number one in there, and it's not really bolted down with the bolts in it and loose. I'll go around and torque them all up after, but freshly lineaged bores and the pistons are in. So now just to run through and do the rest of these rings. Should have bottom end together in no time at all. Probably going to take longer than I think it's going to take, but these things always do. Just got it all finished and torqued down. All pistons are in it now. So that's pretty much the bottom end put back together. Just going to put the oil pickup on it, and then I'm going to call it for the day because it's starting to get a bit late in the afternoon, and tomorrow I'll probably jump into it, do a bit more. So we're going to put the oil filter housing on, or the housing, and do the rear plate, but that's a quick and easy job. Yeah, so bottom end nearly together. So close, but yet so far. But I guess once the bottom end's together and a few of the accessories are on the front, so you just throw the heads on the lower half intake and it can start going back in the car. So really it's not that far away from going back in. Now all the bottom end's back together, so fingers crossed, should hopefully be in the next few days. Should hear it run, should be good. So yeah, righto, we'll catch us tomorrow. Alright, we're back again today. I've done a couple little things on it, so put the oil pickup on, I've put the oil filter housing on, I've put the knock sensors in, and I've just greased around that front seal. I've just thrown the other head together, so both heads are assembled. Just got to grab the head gaskets, wipe down all these surfaces, and pretty much fucking throw the heads on. So when I get that done, I'll spray it with a bit of brake cleaner, wipe it all down, and head gaskets out and sit them on there, and should hopefully have all the motor ready and assembled to go back into the car by the end of the day, possibly minus the flex plate because I've still got to get one of them bolts, but I might have something here that will do the job. I'll jump into it and I'll wipe these fucking block down. I've got the gasket out, it's got left, top, front, all torqued down, ready to go. I'm just going to drop the push rods down in here. Both sides, got to give them a bit of a clean, sitting in a box, so probably a bit of dirt and crap and whatever else is floating around. So you can give them all a bit of a quick spray with some brake clean and drop them in and start putting the rocker gear on. It's nearly going to be a full motor, guys. Nearly going to be a full motor. There's not much left to go, so keep diving into it. Keep getting more and more done. And the next thing you know, it's going to be ready to drop in the car. But yeah, right now I'm just going to do these push rods, do the rocker gear, and then probably the lower intake manifold. And I'm going to put some oil in the supercharger, put gaskets on the supercharger, put the accessories on the front. The supercharger's not going on until it's in the car because that'll be easier. But yeah, righto, enough chit chat, let's get this done. Push rods are in, rocker gear is on, tightened down. Nearly ready. I was thinking of maybe hooking the starter motor up to a battery, wind it over, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to wait until it's in the car. I was going to comp test it again, but I really don't want to. I do, but I don't. Yeah, the decisions. Last time I comp tested it, after putting head gaskets on it, it was fucking shot. But everything's been redone, so I should have no problems with that at all. I think I'm just gonna send it, put it all together. So we're gonna put the balancer on, get the bolt out of the boot of the VT, put the intake on, and then I can start bolting up the accessories. So all the drive belts and pulleys and everything that I can start together. Well, it's mainly back to go. Just got to put some oil in it and redo all the gaskets for it. We've got my VT jacked up and in the shed. Getting the exhaust manifolds on it, ready to put the motor in so we can tie the seat belt around it and up and in. And I should probably put the dipstick in it before I forget to do that, like I did last time and went to check the dipstick and was like, oh, no dipstick. So the motor's hanging by a thread. But I got the ring gear on, and now we just got to find something to help jack the gearbox up and down because we put the car up a little bit too high. But yeah, so the headers on it, looks alright. Up there, all the black and freshly done pieces, and it's going into the weapon. But yeah, righto, so we'll find something to help jack the gearbox up, and we've progressed and we haven't progressed at the same time, so this is where we're at. We've got this mount in down here somewhere, can't see because there's no light. Got a couple of bell housing bolts done up, and this mount over down here somewhere you can't see is only about this far from going into the holes, and the motor's in. It's been a long time coming. It's in, got most of the wiring done up. There's just this bit here can go on once the supercharger's on. Plugs are in, that side leads are on. Some of these wires are in, on, sort of. Just got to clip the heater tap on down there. I've got to take the bolt out of here and hook up the lower power steering line. There's not much left to do, just a couple of O-rings in the back there in the gasket for the supercharger. I should probably put the dipstick back in the trans, and that's about it really. Run the belts. So hopefully tomorrow afternoon it should be running, because I'm keen to go in, have some food. I wish I had more time. I think I might call in sick to work tomorrow so I can get it going. I was going to say I'll see you tomorrow, but this will probably be in the one video anyway, so it's going to be in like probably 10-15 seconds time. I didn't really film anything this afternoon. I just sort of got home from work and jumped into getting more shit done on the VT, and it's like right there to start. So I've got supercharger on. I've got most of all the vacuum lines done up. There's, well, you can't see, but down in behind under there's some vacuum lines that, there's a solenoid with one vacuum line that comes to the top and two that come out the bottom. I can't figure out where they go, so I called my cousin Sean down in Victoria there, and he's got an L67 Calais VT as well. And so the top line for this piece here is to the boost actuator, so you get full boost all the time. So I just left that one undone, but you give me a few, well, help me out with getting a few of the vacuum lines and everything done up, because I couldn't figure out where they went. But yes, everything's pretty much done. Just got to run the belt. It's got some oil in the motor. It's got oil in the supercharger. I've got the airbox in, it's got the air filter. No reason why right now I can't take the stands out, drop it on the wheels and give it a start, but it's a bit late at the moment, so I'm just going to wait until tomorrow after work or at lunchtime, depending if I get enough time. But the exhaust is done up, the torque converter's done up. Damo did that for me this afternoon before I got home from work. All the wires are plugged in. I think though I am going to disconnect the injectors and wind it over a few times to get oil pressure before I do start it. But it's like right there, guys. It is like right there, ready to start. I've got this blue line here to run for the boost gauge that I got. One of these guys here. We've put some oil in the Passion reservoir. I've put the plate on underneath. I've left the original exhaust on for now. I did the ground wire down in amongst all this crap. Well, I forgot to do that the other day. It's pretty much ready to, well, I'm going to wind it over a few times and get some oil pressure up, and then I'm going to plug the injectors back in and get it going. So we'll do that, and then we'll show you the first startup. Right, now just primed it, got some fuel up there, got some oil pressure. Yeah, I'm doing the honours. Because if it doesn't start, we're pushing it out and having a bonfire.
First start in 6 months, you can't give up that easy.
Ready, let's go. That's not bad, bro. This is first start. Still got to get the oil out there. Got oil on the head. Yeah, that'll be CRC burning up and through. Yeah.
Go rag.
Now we stick the radiator in it with some water and let it get through a heat cycle. And I forgot I've got to put some fucking hose down here.